Hi everyone, welcome to the Carson Kids Sensory Series. Today we will be learning about proprioceptive sensation, also known as the position of your body. We will be talking about what proprioceptive processing is, what proprioceptive hyper-responsive is, what proprioceptive hypo-responsive is, and what proprioceptive under-responsive is. We will also be discussing how to address proprioceptive difficulties at home. Proprioceptive processing is the ability to understand information through the contraction and stretching of muscles and by the bending, straightening, pulling, and compression of joints. Proprioceptive processing can impact a child's position and movement, as well as how much force a child uses for certain tasks. A child might be described as proprioceptive hyper-responsive, also known as proprioceptive over-responsive or proprioceptive hypersensitive. This child tends to be a proprioceptive sensory avoider. This child responds excessively to sensory input. Any movement could cause this child to have a negative reaction. For example, this child might hesitate going up or down a walkway curb. One way to address this at home is using various inputs to desensitize or diminish a negative response. Allow the child to help you select the animal walks. Start with an easy animal walk, for example, a bear walk. Progress to a harder animal walk, for example, a duck walk. Then progress to a hard animal walk, for example, a frog hop. Next, cycle through with more input, for example, using ankle weights, wrist weights, or a weighted vest in the same manner. A child might be described as proprioceptive hypo-responsive, also known as proprioceptive hyposensitive. This child tends to be a proprioceptive sensory seeker. This child does not receive enough sensory input and is constantly looking for ways to get that just right level of input. These sensory seeking behaviors can impact their day because they are not able to focus or attend to a task until they are at that just right level. For example, this child might drape themselves on others or objects. One way to address this at home is using various materials to provide input. Allow the child to explore various proprioceptive inputs safely. For example, using a crash pad, a weighted lap pad, or a stress relief ball. A child might be described as proprioceptive under-responsive. This child exhibits a diminished response to proprioceptive sensory input. More sensory input is needed than average in order to get a response. This child can appear to be lazy or tired. For example, this child may have difficulty initiating movement. One way to address this at home is using various materials to provide input. Allow the child to explore various proprioceptive inputs safely. For example, using a massager, bouncing on a peanut ball, a squeeze machine, or a pillow sandwich. Every day, we can sense the world around us differently depending on how we slept, what we ate, or what we did the day before. Our kids that struggle to understand the input the world is giving them can be challenging. It's okay. Try your best to be understanding and patient. Our next videos will help explain the different senses and what to do to help a child better understand the world around them. To quickly review, proprioceptive processing is the ability to interpret information through the contraction and stretching of muscles, and by the bending, straightening, pulling, and compression of joints. And some of us need help to tolerate the input through various activities. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or concerns, we would love to hear from you. As always, these videos are not a substitute for medical care. Please always seek the advice of your medical team before implementing any of the strategies discussed here. Until next time.